Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are properly learning this training and enjoying it. If you have any question for any session, drop that in the comment and I will proactively answer to that question so that your learning is not hampered. In this session, we will go through desktop automation in UiPath and we will cover what is desktop automation. We will be using a recorder and then we will also see an example with a use case. So as in the previous session, we have seen how to automate a web application. In the same way, we can automate any desktop application. So suppose that you have a CRM application or SAP or any other desktop application. You can automate it through UiPath. So let's open UiPath Studio and see how it works. So this is UiPath Studio and we will create a new process. So let's name it desktop automation. So now you can see we have this main YAML open. We can pull one sequence here. Now we have a sequence and what we are going to automate in this session is calculator. So you can open your calculator from a start and search for calculator. In this way, you can open calculator application. So what our use case is going to be today, we will input two numbers using input dialog and it should select that particular number here and then it will click on equal and it will read this data like what is the result and it will showcase in the message box. So let's see how it can be done. And before that, we have to also install UI automation package. So you have to click on manage package, go to official and search for UI automation. So now you can see here, we will click on install button and save button. So once it installed, you can see we have one icon app/wave recorder. We will click here, then it will start recording automatically. So now what you have to do, you have to click on one button for now. So suppose that this is 7. So let's click here. So once it is clicked, we will again go to calculator and we will click on one more button. So now you can see when I was pressing Alt tab, it also captured that detail. So I will delete this one from here. So what we have now here, we have clicked on 7 and in the second step, we have clicked on 8. Then again, we have to click on plus and then we have to click on equal. So once it is done, we have to capture this detail. So what I am going to do, like once you hover on this 16, you can see there is one pop-up option here. So I have to click on get text because we want to get the text from here. So we'll click on get text so that it can fetch the details from here. And you can also declare a variable here itself. So let's create a variable. So sum total and press enter. So once it is done, we will save it. And now you can see what it has done. It has taken one use application activity and here it will be a path for the calculator. You can change it as per your requirement, but for now let's leave it as it is. Then we are clicking on button 7. We have a button 8, we have a button plus and then we have a button equal to and then we are getting the text. Now one thing you will wonder, we are not clicking plus in between of these two activity. It means we made one mistake while recording. So what you can do, you can simply move this activity from here to here. So I did this intentionally so that I can show you can record whatever you want and you can make modification as per your requirement. So we are clicking on button now 7, then plus, then 8, then equal and then the getting the text. Now we will take one message box here and we will show this sum total and save it. Now what we are going to do, we will remove everything from this calculator and we'll run it. Let's see what happens. So see, it is clicking on 7 plus 8, then clicking on equal, showing the output here in the message box. So I hope you are able to understand till now. Now let's go in little advanced way. So suppose that this 7 or 8, I want to get the input from the user. So for that, what you can do, we have a input dialog activity as you can see here. So we'll take this input dialog here and we'll give a title, provide first number. And we can keep the same here. And we can store this input in one variable. So let's give a name first number. Then we need to take another input dialog for the second number. So we'll put provide second number. Let's copy it, paste it here. We'll store in a variable which is second number. So now you can see it is giving a option to click on tab. So once you click on tab, it will automatically create this variable. So I will just press tab button and it has created one variable here. Now it is giving one error. So let's see what is the error. So by default, it created a variable type as out argument, which is not the correct one. So we have to change this variable type as a string. So now error is gone. So we have first number, we have second number, Now how to input that value into this click activity. So here comes a scenario where you will require a dynamic selector. To make a dynamic selector, you will need to use that variable in your selector itself. So let's see how the selector is working for this activity. So first validate what is the targeting method. So here it is using a stick selector, fuzzy selector and computer vision. We will remove computer vision because computer vision works on the image basis. So it will try to find that particular image in the calculator. So if suppose that I enter an input as 13 and 13 is not there in the calculator, then in that case it will click on 7 button because it has an image of 7 icon, right? So that's the reason I have removed this computer vision. Now we have a stick selector and fuzzy selector. So let's see what is there in a stick selector. So you can click on this expand button and it will open expression editor. So now we have to find here in which part of the selector we need to change that value so that it can start clicking on that particular button which it is directed to do that. So from this selector I can see there is a num7 button, then button and name as 7, right? So 7 we are not getting that input, right? We will be getting in a number format. So let's see what we can do. So for that you can go in UI Explorer. So you have to click on open in UI Explorer. So once done, you can also see many properties in the right side which you can use in your code. So now let's see the calculator. So what we can do, we will first remove the name. Okay, now we have num7 button and we will click on validate and let's click on highlight. In that case it will highlight this button. Now what if I change it to num8, what it will do? So now you can see it is highlighting 8. What if I change it to num9? It is highlighting num9. What if I change it to num1? See, it is highlighting 1. So now we know that where we have to make the changes. So now what we can do, we can cancel it from here. We'll click on no and then we'll go here. So now you can see num7 button there. First of all, we have to remove this part. So I have removed this one and num7 button will remove 7. Then you have to right click on use variable. Then in the variable name section, you can select the variable name. So here we have to select first number and then we'll click on confirm. So it has taken that variable here. So whenever you are using a variable, make sure that you don't have any extra spaces by mistake. So now click on OK. Now this became a dynamic selector. You can see here. Now, as we have seen in the targeting method that we are selecting a stick selector and fuzzy selector. So for now, we will remove the fuzzy selector as well and we'll let only a stick selector work on this one. Now we have to make changes in this button. So for that, we will do the same things. Go to targeting methods, remove computer vision and fuzzy selector, go to a stick selector, expand it, remove this part, remove 8 from here, right click, use variable name as second number, click on confirm and press OK, done. So now whatever input we will give, it will try to select in that calculator. So let's see, we'll again remove everything from here and then run it. So it is asking for the first number. We'll put 1 and click on OK. In the second number, we'll put 2, click on OK. See, it is working. And it is also showing in the message box 3. Okay, so now the next part, we will see how to handle exception, right? So suppose that if in the first number, if I provide 13, which is not there in the calculator itself. So let's see what it does. So you can see it has activated that calculator, but it is not finding the 13. So it will wait for some time, like 30 seconds, and then it will throw an error saying that the selector is not correct. Let's see what it does. So now as you can see, it is saying that could not find the UI element for this action. And this is the selector, like could not find this UI element corresponding to this selector. And you can see the selector here as well. So it was taking num13 button, which is not present in this calculator. It means it will throw an error and terminate the bot. As we were running in debug mode, so it could not terminate. So we have to stop it manually. So now what we can do? There are two ways to handle this one. First one is that we will put one if condition here itself. So let's do that first approach. So we'll put one if condition. We'll go here and we'll mention if first number is less than 0 and first number is greater than 9. It means that if first number is less than 0, means someone provided minus, like -1, -2 or something, right? And we'll do the same thing for second number. Second number is less than 0 and second number is greater than 9. It means if any number which is less than 0 or greater than 9, we will terminate the bot by showing a message box that your entered input is not a valid input. Okay, now you can see there is another error. It is saying that option strict on disallow implicit conversion from a string to double. Why this error is? Because the variable we have taken from here is in the string type. So before comparison, we have to convert that variable into an integer format. So for that, what we can do, you can simply type cint and put in the bracket. So this is a function to convert a string into integer format. So we have to do the same thing for all others. So now you can see error is gone. So what we will do, we'll put a message box saying that the input is invalid. And in the else part, we'll put this part. So now you can understand. When bot runs, it will ask for inputting two numbers. Once it is done, it will check in the if condition. If any of the number is less than 0 or greater than 9, then it will show a message box, else it will perform the operation. Now, here I am seeing one more problem. I have given AND. Instead, we have to give OR. So what is OR and what is AND? So AND means if you put AND operator here, it means everything should be true to make this condition as true. In the case of OR, it means any of the condition is satisfied, it will become true. It means that any of the part of this expression is true, it will come here. So that's the reason I am using now OR. I hope you understood difference between and OR. If I put AND, it means all the conditions should be satisfied to come to this message box. Otherwise, it will again come to this part. So let's run it and let's see what it does. So it is asking for the number. So I will put 11. Here I will put 1. So now what it is saying? The input is invalid. Again, let's run. We'll put 9 and we'll put again 9. Let's see what it does. So now the input was valid. It is working properly. Now I told you can handle in two ways. So this is kind of you are creating a scenario that your number should be in this particular format. Now think of a situation where someone entered the value itself in a string format. Suppose that, let's see, instead of number, I just provide 7. What it will do? It will terminate here because it is trying to convert that string into a number format, but 7 is a string or text. It can't be converted into an integer format. It means it will throw an exception. You can see here. So how to handle this? We need to use a try catch activity. So let's see what is try catch. You can see here try catch activity. So try catch activity is something like if any error occurs in this part, you are seeing this, right? If any error occurs in this part, it will come to this part. And there is one more section, finally. Finally, something like even if error occurred or not occurred, it will always come into this part. So let's see how it works. We will put this whole part in the try part, and in the catch, we will add a message box. And we'll say that something went wrong. And we can also display what is the actual error message. For that, what you have to do, you have to concatenate the variable. So we have a variable exception dot to a string you can do, or if you want a short message, you can use exception dot message. But let's use exception dot to a string for now. So let's see what it does. So we'll provide the same, just a random characters. It terminated here. We will continue from here. And then you can see it is saying that system.invalid cast exception conversion from a string to type integer is not valid. And it will terminate here. Now try to run this code. So we'll put again some characters. And now you can see the error message there. now we will do one more thing here. As like we were trying to run this calculator, we had to click on this C or C manually. So what we will do, we'll put one more activity here to click on C. So for that, we can use, instead of using a recorder, right? You can use application. So we'll click on use application browser. We'll click on indicate application to automate and we'll select this application. So once it is selected, we will use click activity. And we have to indicate in calculator. So we'll indicate C. So when you are making the activity manually, you will have this option here to select what you want. So we'll remove fuzzy selector, we'll remove computer vision, we'll let only a stick selector remain here. And we'll click on validate to validate it is working properly, and we'll click on confirm. So once it is done, it will start the bot by first clicking on C button. So let's see. See, it clicked on C and we have to provide one number. Let's run once more. See, it is clicking on C. Let's provide some random number. It's done. So this is how you can do it. Now one more thing, for clicking on a button, it was moving the mouse cursor and it was clicking on that particular button, how we human do, right? So in this case, what will happen? The bot will not work in the background. So to overcome this, what we need to do, we have to change the properties for this particular activity. So in the below, you can see we have a input mode. In that case, you can click on simulate. I have already gone through differences between simulate, hardware events, window message, Chrome API in my last session. You can go to that session to see what are the differences between these options. So let's do simulate for all the activities. So simulate thing only works with click or type into activities. For getting the output, you don't require to select anything. So let's now try to run. So now you can see it is not moving any mouse cursor. So we'll put some details here. So you can see it is not showing where it is clicking because we have selected the simulate option. So that's all for today's session. Let you know if you have any feedback or any query related to this session in the comment section. Or if you want this project file, you can let me know. I can send it to you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next session.